Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a Southern Kentucky family is pleading for answers after a violent and deadly dog attack.
Plus, a person has been arrested for reportedly leaking sensitive U.S. military documents online about the war in Ukraine.
And showers and even a few thunderstorms on their way back to the mountains to finish the work week. Tracking it all coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Olivia Calfee.
A Southern Kentucky family wants answers after a deadly dog attack. The sheriff in McCreary County says they are looking for the owners of a bunch of dogs in the attack on 61-year-old Wilma Polly Lee Reidner.
She was found dead early Wednesday not far from her home in the Parkers Lake community. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to her family about their tremendous loss and search for justice.
She liked to play games.
Sitting on the front porch of her mother-in-law's home, Crystal Jones says Wilma Lee Reidner, commonly known as Polly, loved her grandchildren and the outdoors of the scenic area of McCreary County that she called home.
Just more or less be outside, fishing, camping, garden. She loved to plant flowers and stuff.
But early Wednesday morning, the 61-year-old woman's life came to an end.
That she was just walking down the road coming back home that night.
The sheriff says Reidner was found after a bunch of dogs attacked her. Jones says she may have been looking out for another neighbor not long before she was attacked.
I believe so, yeah. There was another lady that got bit also. So that might have been what she was doing, coming home to maybe get bandaged or something to bandage her up.
There is some question on exactly how many dogs were involved and how many more dogs may still be in this area. We were told that there were 6 dogs by neighbors. Family members say they are concerned there may be about that many as well. Animal Control says they found 4 dogs and euthanized all of them. The sheriff says attempts to find or question the suspected dog owners have come up empty. Relatives say they want justice, but they fear it'll be slow in coming.
I don't know, worried, aggravated, mad. I don't know, frustrated, all of them.
The dogs are said to be a mixed breed, with some of them being part pit bull. In McCreary County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
A graveside funeral service for Reidner will take place at 11 Saturday morning at the Rock Branch Cemetery. Pine Knot Funeral Home is assisting the family with arrangements.
Well, another sunny one out there today, but we continue to watch clouds pushing into the region as we head later tonight and showers quickly on their heels. Here's the view from Buffalo Mountain in southern Perry County. It is still mostly sunny, but notice those high clouds starting to move in. We're still warm. Look at that 86-degree reading. Conditions right now from downtown Pikeville. Well, we're starting to see that filtered sunshine out there, but still sunshine nonetheless. Temperatures have gotten warm this afternoon. Hazards at 86. Manchester's at 87, Wayne's at 86 as well, so we continue to see the mild air. Temperatures starting to drop a little as we start to see the cloud cover move in to areas along and south of the Tennessee border. That's where we've seen a few showers trying to sneak in this afternoon and evening. It's not a big deal yet, not a lot of it making it to the ground, but we're not done yet. We still have this cutoff low pressure swirling over the Magnolia State that's still got to make its way through the region before we're all said and done. Your forecast first through the next 12 hours. Those clouds increase, those temperatures only slowly decrease into the 60s as we head into tonight. Now, I will have the very latest details on when we see a return to showers in a few minutes. Guys?
All right, Evan, thank you. The 911 calls from Monday's mass shooting at a Louisville bank paint a harrowing picture of what happened as a gunman shot his co-workers and police officers. One call was from the shooter's own mother trying to warn people, but she was too late.
CBS's Roxana Saberi is in Louisville with the latest, and we do want to warn you, these calls are disturbing to hear.
Oh my God, there's an active shooter there.
The first call came from a woman who watched the scene unfold on a video conference meeting.
And how do you know you have an active shooter on the site?
I just watched it.
How'd you watch it on
meeting?
Another woman calling from inside a closet identified the gunman to the dispatcher.
How do you know the person? She works with us.
As more calls poured in, the shooter's mother called saying he might be headed to the bank with a gun.
We don't even own guns. I don't know where he would have gotten a gun.
But 6 days earlier, he had bought an AR-15 style rifle, and it was already too late.
It's dangerous there. You've had calls from other people, so he's already there? Yes, at Old National Bank on East Main Street.
This person murdered my friend. But still, I can't imagine how his parents must be feeling right now.
Thomas Elliott was a close friend of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
I've been governor during this pandemic. I've been governor during tornadoes and floods and negative 45-degree wind chills and everything else. And we've lost a lot of people during those, but calling your friend's wife, who is also your friend, to tell her that her husband is gone is amongst the hardest things I have ever done.
At a vigil Wednesday night, community members honored the 5 people killed. Amazing grace. Along with the 8 injured. One of those is Dana Mitchell, who was shot in the back.
I'm just thankful to still have her today.
Mitchell called her son, Ross Minreth, from the hospital Monday.
What's the toughest part of it for you?
Thinking back and just like, I got that call from her, but I could have got a call from the CEO of the bank, But I got a call from her.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg told me yesterday, while the 911 calls are difficult to listen to, he wanted them released so people could hear what happened here at the bank on Monday and how the police responded. Funerals for at least 2 of the victims are set for tomorrow. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, Louisville, Kentucky.
A blood drive will be held at Lynn Family Stadium, home of the soccer club Louisville City FC, in the wake of the mass shooting from noon until 4 p.m. Saturday. Anyone 17 years or older can donate.
Indiana State Police responded to reports of an active shooter last night. The shooter was in the Kendallville area, about 45 minutes north of Fort Wayne. A gunman barricaded himself inside an apartment complex, firing hundreds of rounds using a high-powered assault rifle. Kendallville police worked with state troopers to evacuate the apartment building. Despite the excessive amount of gunfire, no one was injured.
Today, former President Donald Trump is being deposed in New York. That deposition is part of a high-stakes civil case brought on by New York Attorney General Letitia James last year. The lawsuit claims Trump and his children were involved in an expansive scheme lasting through a decade. It says they provided false financial statements to lenders in order to enrich themselves. The Trumps have denied wrongdoing. The suit is seeking $250 million. It is also asking for a ban on the Trumps' ability to operate a business in the state. It's unclear whether Trump will answer questions or plead the fifth during the deposition. The case is set for trial in October.
President Biden wants to give DACA recipients access to affordable health care coverage for the first time through Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act insurance marketplace. DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It's a law that grants temporary legal status to undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. The president announced his administration's plan earlier today to propose a rule expanding the definition of who is considered lawfully present to be eligible for Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act insurance marketplace. That move by the Department of Health and Human Services would expand access to affordable health insurance to 580,000 DACA recipients. The White House said in a statement they expect to get this done by the end of the month.
The FBI swarmed a Massachusetts home and arrested a former member of the Air National Guard earlier this afternoon.
He's suspected to be the person behind the leaks of classified Pentagon documents. CBS's Nicole D'Antonio has more from the White House.
A team in full tactical gear arrested the suspected leaker of Pentagon documents at his North Dighton, Massachusetts home.
Today, the Justice Department arrested Jack Douglas Teixeira in connection with an investigation into alleged unauthorized removal, retention, and transmission of classified national defense information.
Investigators want to question 21-year-old Jack Teixeira. Teixeira is a member of the intelligence wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. He's also reportedly the leader of an online chat group where the documents were allegedly first uploaded. The documents outline details about Ukraine's upcoming counteroffensive, but both Ukrainian and U.S. officials downplayed the impact of the leak.
I'm concerned that it happened, but there's nothing contemporaneous that I'm aware of that is of great consequence.
The documents also revealed a number of secrets the U.S. has collected on its allies, causing the administration to make some tough calls.
We have U.S. officials who are engaging with allies and partners at high levels on having these conversations.
The Pentagon is already working to ensure this kind of leak doesn't happen again.
We do have stringent guidelines in place for safeguarding classified and sensitive information. This was a deliberate criminal act, a violation of those guidelines.
The Pentagon also briefed congressional leaders about its investigation. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, the White House.
CBS News has learned the FBI had zeroed in on Teixeira, narrowing the list down to him from a much larger pool. The FBI is still searching Teixeira's home, looking for evidence. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a new survey shows 1 in 4 Americans are saving less for retirement because of inflation. An expert weighs in on why still investing what you can will help in the long run.
Plus, continuing to watch the potential for showers returning to the mountains later tomorrow. The very latest coming up after this.